When we think of misunderstood characters, I really think that we perceive them as like, I don't know, like hostile or like overly masculine or impulsive. And lemon essential oil, I'm gonna add it to my candle. And I think that we've got it all wrong. Let me give you I put too much. Let me give you examples. Like, for example, I remember when I was just getting into Sanrio characters and learning about them, I had a hard time believing that Kuromi was an ISFP and not an ISTP, because I was like, bro, she has no consideration for anybody else's feelings. She's just so hyper. Oh my gosh. This is what happens when you add essential oil to a candle. She's just so hyper fixated on her own, and she's like a menace to society. Ooh. Something's falling. I think that's ash. Okay, anyways, she's like a menace to society and stuff like that. But then, after watching Alice in Borderland and revisiting Niragi, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I should focus on talking. And revisiting the series and looking at Niragi, this guy who I thought was so, okay, hear me out, this is 10th grade Aishi, who was so cool for being impulsive and acting the way that he felt like. And I was like, oh gosh, this guy's gotta be some kind of ESTP. And then I checked personality database recently and I saw he was an ISFP. And I'll tell you exactly why. It's because both these characters are Enneagram 4s, more specifically sexual 4s. So Enneagram 4s express the passion of envy, which like Naranjo describes as like feeling like you're excessively lacking by taking out like their envy on others. So if like they don't feel like they're good enough, they'll just like make other people feel worse about themselves, because it's like a way to compensate. It's like a big bully. Yeah, exactly. So like when you look at both Niragi and Kuromi's behavior, you see that they have this like misunderstood agenda going on with them. Like, especially, I can tell you Niragi because I love Alice in Borderland and I watched that show like anything. And his whole backstory was that he was bullied, and the Borderlands gave him a place to really be himself. And I think that that connects with the core passion of the core desire for is a lot to be known for who they are, to be loved for who they are, to be seen for who they are. And Niragi completely expressed it. It's like the perfect sx4. He took out his anger, all his hatred on every person he saw just because he felt like he wasn't good enough, because he wanted to compensate for being bullied before. So he turned into a bully. And I think that the fact that mostly ISFPs are SX4s just shows how FI DOMs in the MBTI world are so insanely, incredibly mistyped. Like, no, not FI DOM is like, not every FI DOM is like a sweet, ooh, baby, okay? Like, they can be menaces to society because they feel misunderstood. So yeah, going back to my point, SX4s combat the passion of envy through releasing it on others. So this can make them appear as overly logical, really structured, or no, maybe not even structured. It could be completely impulsive and just like they feel the need to put down their feelings, which can give them like this thinker look. But if you try to connect it to like introverted thinking or extroverted thinking of MBTI, you'll realize that hey, it's not like that at all. And you just, when you look at them, you see how keen they are on their personal values and their beliefs and their opinions, and their whole life is dictated by that. And I think that the fact that they're ISFPs and not INFPs makes sense, because INFPs are SE blind, which means that they are really not like good at engaging with their physical world or really acting impulsively, which ISFPs are really good at. So now I'm going on Personality Wiki and I'm going to read about SX4s. Okay, the envy of the SX4 is closest to the most literal meaning of the word. When envy comes into contact with this instinct, it produces a character that competes with others in an attempt to gain approval or recognition, like that bully thing I described. They then make others suffer as an unconscious way of trying to rid themselves of pain painful feelings, or deficiency. We can contrast this with the social 4, who internalizes their suffering, swallows their poison, and the counter type, sp4, who just completely annihilates their suffering. Furthermore, they are the kind of people who'd rather be hated for who they are than loved for someone who they are not. They stick out from other 4s due to their harsh and aggressive. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm really tired today. Their harsh and aggressive attitude, often being described as shameless and feeling a strong rejection by the world, as their inferiority gets replaced by aggression. Often they have an underlying hatred for their rivals, and their rivals are the only ones that they personally feel is worth striving for. So, I mean, I will attach the link of the source I'm reading in the description, but I don't want this video to be too long. So that's just my introduction to sx4 and why sx4s can be perceived as thinkers when in reality they're the most FI-dom type ever. Actually, like the most unhealthy FI-dom type ever. But yeah, I need to read a little bit more to see what healthy sx4s look like, but I really think that the MBTI community needs to hear about this subtype to know that FI DOMs aren't all cutie pie and oh my gosh, I love you. And also it's really important to consider this type when we're looking at characters who are bullies, because not all bullies are thinkers. In fact, I feel like most of them work on an FI basis. So yeah, I'm gonna keep yapping if I let this video go on, so I'm gonna stop here.